December in Wyoming is frigid cold outside, especially at night. Do you enjoy your nice warm house and your fireplace if you have one? There are people right now in Wyoming without these things. Homelessness is a problem in our lovely state of Wyoming. We can all do our part, large or small, to end homelessness. I am very lucky to have a place to live and not be homeless and living under a bridge like a troll. I'll be talking today about some of the problems associated with homelessness and some solutions to the problem of homelessness, and also what you can do to help prevent homelessness. So the problem of homelessness, a lot of it is housing shortage and affordability of housing. This is driven by local regulations and a lack of investment in infrastructure, particularly water systems. Also, rents have increased significantly, often exceeding what those earning minimum wage can afford. There's a high rate of unsheltered homeless people in Wyoming. Wyoming is actually has one of the highest rates of unsheltered homelessness in the nation, with 90.1% of the estimated 648 homeless individuals on a single night in 2022, which was only 3 years ago. This is partly due to a lack of shelter capacity and a limited social services spread across vast distances. Things that impact homelessness or that homelessness impacts are physical health, emotional and mental health, and systemic and social issues. So with physical health, infectious diseases are a huge thing. There's an increased risk of pneumonia, tuberculosis, HIV, and viral hepatitis, and these come from crowded shelters and exposure. Chronic conditions like higher rates of hypertension, asthma, diabetes, malnutrition, and skin infections are also a thing, as well as exposure. And that could be vulnerability to extreme weather conditions, violence, and injuries. So when you're talking about emotional and mental health within the homeless community, you are talking about high rates of disorders such as elevated rates of depression, anxiety, PTSD, and other serious mental illnesses. Trauma is an issue, so exposure to violence, assault, which is normally assault normally includes the women more than the men. Constant insecurity triggers, and these things all worsen mental health conditions, or can worsen mental health conditions. So stress is another emotional or mental issue. So chronic stress from lack of safety, basic needs, and routine damages a person's mental well-being. So when we talk about systematic and social issues dealing with homelessness, we're talking about healthcare barriers, like a difficulty accessing care due to the lack of insurance, ID, transportation, and all those things lead to worse outcomes because they cannot get the care that they need. So this is a vicious cycle in that mental illness and substance abuse can lead to homelessness, and homelessness can then exacerbate these conditions, making recovery harder for those individuals. Childhood development is also a huge issue with the homeless because poverty and homelessness negatively affect children's brain development, learning, and behavior. So, because we have this issue, and because I've talked about it, what do we do to alleviate this problem? So the first thing is that we as a state, as a people in the state, can implement housing first models, which provides immediate permanent housing without preconditions for the person looking for housing. We can expand programs like those by the Wyoming Community Development Authority for wider impact, and we can engage public housing agencies to use project-based vouchers for supportive housing. Another solution point would be supportive services in healthcare. So we could increase funding for affordable mental health and substance abuse treatment, leverage Medicaid and behavioral health funds for services within supportive housing, and third, we could provide wraparound support, which is employment benefits, enrollment, and life skills training. There is a place in Casper called the Stenton House that offers that type of help for the homeless. So outreach and community engagement is also a part of the solution. So ramping up street outreach and engagement to identify and connect with unsheltered individuals, supporting local shelters like the COMEA House and Family Promises with donations, volunteers, and resources, collaborating with coalitions for the homeless for data, gap analysis, and systematic solutions. Dealing with like policy and collaboration, you can get your state and local leaders to publicly commit to ending chronic homelessness, promoting cross-sector partnerships between government, nonprofits, and housing providers, educating the public to dispel myths and build support for systematic solutions. So another part of the solution for homelessness is to connect people to employment opportunities and mainstream benefits, such as Social Security insurance and SNAP, which is food benefits for lower income individuals. And both of these would increase income stability. The other thing that would be a solution would be to help people overcome barriers like lack of professional clothing or stable mailing address. And that would be something that an individual would be able to help do. So by combining these strategies, Wyoming can build a comprehensive system to prevent, address, and end homelessness. Okay, so a call to action. What can you personally do to help end homelessness? You could donate, support local nonprofit organizations like the Community Action Partnership or specific shelters in your area. Or you could advocate, support broader initiatives for affordable housing and mental health services. So the Wyoming Continuum of Care is a statewide, Wyoming 211 is a Wyoming Rescue Mission in Casper, the COMEA in Cheyenne, and the Wyoming Continuum of Care, as well as Family Promise, are 5 organizations that help deal with homelessness. So the Wyoming 211 connects with local social services, emergency shelters, and housing programs. Wyoming Rescue Mission in Casper offers food, shelter, job training, addiction treatment, and partners with various other organizations. The COMEA, which stands for Community Organization Management, Emergency and Assistance in Cheyenne, provides housing, meals, case management, and transportation help. The Wyoming Continuum of Care is a statewide body coordinating efforts to reduce homelessness. And Family Promise works to house families facing homelessness as seen with new shelters and communities in Wyoming. So while you are at home in your house enjoying your lovely fireplace, would there be something that you could do to help alleviate the homelessness in Wyoming? Yes. Please feel free to talk to any of these agencies to help your local homeless in Wyoming.